Hey, this is Paul Solt from iPhoneDev.tv. You're going to hear me say that a lot. I'm actually going to be changing brands very shortly. It's going to be called Super Easy Apps. More on that in a little bit. But before I really dive into any of that, I want to talk about what to expect from this course series. So you have backed or you have pre-ordered the Super Easy iPhone Apps course. This is a brand new course that I am creating. It is not already created. So if you have the expectation that you can just jump in here and learn everything that you want to learn, you're going to have to wait for the next 3 months as I'm going to be producing the content on a weekly basis, aside from the different holidays. So with that, Super Easy iPhone Apps is going to be unlike any other course that you've taken. And the reason is because I'm not your average instructor. I don't want to just teach you how to create iPhone apps. I want to teach you how to make money from your iPhone apps. 40% of my students want to switch careers. They want to switch into the tech field. That's 40% of my audience that I'm going to be teaching how they can prepare themselves for the job market. 30% of my audience wants to make iPhone apps to make some side income. So if you want to make side income, again, that's 30% of my audience. So if you fit into one of those groups or if you fit into both of those groups, this is going to be the best course that you can take on making iPhone apps. And the reason I say that is because I have more experience than almost anyone on the market right now who's teaching you how to create iPhone apps. I'm not going to teach you how to get rich quick, but I am going to teach you how to be methodical about everything. I'm going to teach you about the details, about why you need to do certain things, the best practices, and if there's things that I can evaluate in other developers that are giving recommendations, I can give you guidance on that. So there's a lot to this course, and there's a lot to learning with me. If you want to make iPhone apps, hands down, my course is going to be the best resource for you because I'm going to provide expert instruction and I'm going to break down the challenging concepts into things that you can understand. With all of that said, this course is an ongoing production. So, some of the reason why I've delayed production on this course is because I wasn't sure exactly where I wanted to take the course. I had an idea. I wanted to split it up into smaller segments that I could manage more easily and produce. So one of the things you're going to see below this video, I'm going to include a sort of a Google spreadsheet as well as a Trello. The Trello is going to have the high level perspective of what I'm working on and sort of what's coming down the road for the next several months. And then the nitty gritty details, that's going to be my Google Docs. This is how I track all of my content that I produce. This is a system that I sort of devised over the past 10 years of really managing projects. And especially over the past 3 years, I've been online teaching. I have to organize the descriptions that go with the videos, the names of the videos, the content that assists it. So there might be source code, there might be a PDF, there might be a keynote, there might be an additional file or something like that. I also need to keep track of if I've backed things up, if I've uploaded it. So if I'm doing bulk uploads, which I'm not sure I'm going to do for this course just yet, but if I'm going to do that, I need to be able to track which videos are sort of in that state and which ones aren't. There's also edits I do. I do have a copy editor who edits everything I write. Sometimes I publish before I get it edited, so I have to go back and republish some of the descriptions or update the text because there might be spelling errors or there might be grammatical things. I'm not an English wizard, but I hire people who are better at writing than me so they can improve my language so that it's easier for you to follow along what's going on. Along with that, I'm going to be offering captions. Now, captions are a new feature, and I haven't actually tested it on Teachable with their new platform. I had to beg them for over a year to get captions. Now we have them. I haven't tested them. So we're going to be testing that out. But because I'm going to be refilming some of this beginner content that's in chapter one, I'm going to hold off on actually requesting captions until I have locked down the videos or whatever edits I need to make for this video series. So captions are coming. If you're an international person, that's going to help you with the courses because I do tend to sometimes talk fast, and that's okay. I try to also talk slow depending on the type of video. And that's another thing I want to announce. I'm introducing a new concept which I'm calling speed coding. So a lot of my students, they like the detail that I give in my lessons, but the problem is as I continue to go into more and more detail, the videos take longer and longer to watch. And yes, you can watch them faster, but the problem is I'm talking about too much detail. So once you sort of understand the details and you get the gist, Sometimes you just want a quick refresher. And so I'm introducing a new concept, which I'm calling the speed coding videos. Now, this is also based on another thing I'm launching with this course is I'm going to be providing lesson plan PDFs, which are going to include the source code. They're going to include comments on what you need to do, potentially some screenshots and things like that. These are going to be what guide the lessons that I film. And the reason I need to do this is because Apple's changing this all the time. And so in the past, um, I'm very good at finding an efficient way to work. And in the past, I would have to memorize up to 10 pages of source code and then figure out where to insert code and remember things. And sometimes I forgot them. And then I had to refilm new videos or edit videos and stuff like that. And I really don't edit anything I film. I just talk, I explain it, and I go. And if it's good, I keep it. If it's not, I redo it. But most of the time, I don't even need to redo it. So I don't edit a whole lot except for the on-camera work that I do when I'm playing around with my DSLR or anything back there, for more of a promotional video. But for the in-course lectures, to keep things more streamlined, I'm not going to be editing. So unless I electrocute myself or something like that, I might need to stop and go back and refilm or something like that. I almost did that during a live stream last month. So, aside from being stupid on camera, I'm going to provide these speed coding workshops or lessons that are going to take you through without all the explanations. It's just going to be a sort of a live coding. I'm just going to be typing as fast as I can remember the code, or if I'm reading off a code example, I'm going to be going as fast as I can with that. And it's going to be less about going over every single line of code, which I know that you don't want once you have a base level of understanding. I think the PDF lessons are going to be super important. I don't see anyone else doing something like this. This is something I did when I taught in Athens, Greece, and um, I'm happy I developed this system in Athens, Greece, because I taught to high schoolers, and teaching to high schoolers is a little bit different. Or actually, it was high schoolers and middle schoolers. It's a little bit different because you have to approach the material a little bit differently, and they're less focused. And so I had to come up with a system when I was there in Greece on site to address issues I was having with students not having glasses, not being able to see the board, not being able to see the projector, not being able to touch type. And so I perfected this system of a PDF, and I really want to bring it to this course because I think it's going to help you a ton. Plus, I've had some requests from people who are blind or people who are deaf for assistive sort of supporting materials. And with my videos being in video form, it's hard to explain what I'm typing in a video without going over the exact thing. So that makes it very difficult. So that's why I'm excited about the PDF, because it makes my content more accessible. It gives a written form that potentially is something I can put into a little ebook, so that if you want supporting materials, I can have something on that end. And I want to do an ebook, but again, it's my focus is the videos, because I think seeing is a lot easier than reading. And then if I can provide additional supporting materials, blog posts, webinars, special topics, Q&As. I do want to do Q&As with this course, so I want to get feedback as I'm making the materials. Again, your feedback is potentially going to push back the timeline, but I'm really gunning for a good release schedule after the holidays, once I sort of come up to speed on things and get into a good workflow. A lot of this is about balance. I'm a one-man team right now, and I do everything, and then I contract out the things that I'm not very good at. And so your pre-order and your Kickstarter pledges help me produce the content. I've gotten a few comments from people that tell me, well, why don't you just produce all the content and then just put it up when it's all done? And I've tried that in the past, and it doesn't work. And it doesn't work because I need your input in order to really make this a good course. So that's what we're going to be doing. My tentative timeline is to get some more materials out for chapter one. I don't know if I'm going to finish everything by Friday, because I'm constantly evolving it. Like just today, I had a new idea for what I wanted to do, a thing I wanted to add. So again, the timeline is going to be a little bit flexible, but I'm trying to bake in a little bit more time to really focus on the upcoming stuff. So that's December. Which month are we in? December 18th is chapter one. So that's like 2 days from now. And I'm going to be filming quite a bit of videos between now and then. The other thing that I'm having issues with is because of the Kickstarter and because of answering a ton of questions, I my posture hasn't been great, and I've been working 12 to 18-hour days. And so because of that, I'm a little bit tight, and so my shoulder is a little bit weird. So I'm trying to use my left hand right now on my mouse instead of using my right hand all the time, which means I'm a little bit slower, but I think that will be just fine for you. And then going into the new year, as long as I don't get sick and I can't talk, I'm expecting to have chapter 2 by the 15th of January. We'll go into chapter 3 by the 29th. And then as we go into February, I'm expecting chapter 4 on the 12th, and then chapter 5, which might be pushed back a little bit because chapter 5 is going to be more meaty. That's going to come out on the 26th. Now, chapter 5 is going to be special because I'm going to be choosing some of the lessons for you that I think that you need to learn. And then I'm going to also be doing a little poll to request things. One of the ones, I was going to give you 5 topics to choose. I think I'm going to give you probably 4 topics to choose now because the overall consensus has been to add parse. And so I'm going to be adding parse in the 5th course. So that's chapter 5. And so there's going to be 4 other topics for the group to vote on. I want to limit it to 10 topics. I really want to pick 5 topics because I think it's important that I pick the topics that you learn for this course series, because I'm a little bit opinionated and I know what you need to learn when you're just getting started. So that's really the goal of this course. It's for the beginner. It's not an exhaustive advanced course. That's coming down the road. This is more just to get started. All right, so that's kind of the timeline. So I'm expecting to finish everything sometime in March and actually put the course as a complete purchase for sale in March. And so then if you're waiting to purchase then, you can go ahead and purchase it then. And since you're already in this course, you've probably already purchased it, so you don't need to do that. But if you have friends who want to learn how to make iPhone apps and you enjoy this, you can share the course with them, and it will be available for purchase. Right now, I've closed the course. I'm not letting anyone else in, so I'm sorry if you can't learn with us. You had an opportunity to do it before, and if you miss that opportunity, you'll have another opportunity come March. So there's a lot of things in the pipeline on my end. I know this one's a little bit long, but I'm excited to get started. And so if you're excited to learn, I think this is a great place for you to be. And my goal in running my own business. So to give you some perspective, my goal to run my own business has never been to make a lot of money. Granted that I do things that do make money, but the point of the money for me is that I can hire a team of talented people. And one of the most frustrating things when you're working by yourself is not being around smart people. So that's one of the things that I missed when I worked for Apple, when I worked for Microsoft. You're around really smart people. And so moving forward, the funding for this course and the sales for this course are going directly to hire talent to help produce the content, to help make the apps that I want to make, and to really help flesh out the company that I'm starting. So I'm not just creating content like some of the other instructors online. I'm creating content, but I'm also creating a business that's going to be sustainable, that is going to be able to put out content faster than I've ever been able to put out content, and that's going to provide more support for you as you're learning. One of the most frustrating things, and this is coming from doing a live stream this week. I did a live stream on Parse and Facebook, and it was probably one of the most frustrating live streams, but it really highlights the process of working with some of these APIs, and it highlights the problems that we have as programmers and as beginners learning these APIs. I started from scratch in a demo on how to initially I wanted to connect and do a single sign-on with the Facebook as a login for Parse, and we actually didn't finish completing that within 4 hours. So we did take one intermission 2 hours into the event. I was expecting this to take 30 to 60 minutes, and it far exceeded that. And part of the reason why it exceeded that is because I wanted to make this a learning opportunity. I wanted to show the perspective on how a developer would approach the situation. And again, I'm not your typical developer. I get frustrated when people aren't clear. I get frustrated when tutorials aren't clear. I get frustrated when tutorials are out of date. Mind you, along the way, we encountered numerous bugs, some of which I reported to Facebook, some of which I wrote down in my notebook. And those are bugs that I'm hoping that when I get to film chapter 5, they're fixed. I know that Facebook has promised to fix bugs quickly, so if I can submit them or if you can submit them, they should be fixed before I get to chapter 5. All of this bug fixing, all of this research, it takes work. It takes a lot of time. So when you see an hour of content normally on my course website, it's usually taking anywhere from 4 or more hours for every hour of content you see. There's a lot of planning that goes into these lessons. There's a lot of refinement, trying to come up with a code sample that actually makes sense. I see a lot of code samples and I see a lot of instructors online who are just not teaching the right approach. They're trying to get rich quick. They're trying to make some money so that they can work from home or whatever they want to do. And for me, working from home has never been what I wanted to do. I think it's one of the worst experiences ever. If you never get out of your home, it can drive you insane. And that's kind of what I've had to do for the initial few years. I've always rented office space, or I've been able to finagle office space for free as a student, which I would recommend if you are a student because you're already paying a lot of money. So that's where I'm at. That's this course. If you want to learn how to create iPhone apps, I think there is no better resource online right now than to learn with me. I'm excited to help you out. I do have hundreds of students in this course, so I can't provide as much personal attention as I want to with every single person. But if you can help each other out, I would greatly appreciate it. If you can respond to each other on the forums. So for everyone who's not in the mastermind, I have the iPhone Mastermind, which is a live chat. It's a small group. I think we have less than 60 people who are registered for that, but even less than that are actually in it, because I do have a policy. One of my biggest frustrations with learning in the tech field is how unapproachable and how negative and how unhelpful the development community can be to people who are trying to learn. And that's not a community that I want. So I have a be positive policy that every member has to accept in order to get access to the live chat, to get access to the private Google Hangouts. So that's the iPhone Mastermind. That's a small group. I'm going to be opening up probably 50 slots in the spring. I'm not going to open a ton. It's going to be more expensive in the spring. There's a ton of value there. And it's more the value that I provide along with the value of connecting to the other students who are going to be high achievers, who are going to have apps that actually are going to make money. Yeah, it's amazing. And I'm really excited to see where it goes. To give you some perspective, one of the students has an app that makes $300 over 2 years. I can get that app to make, I would say, $1,000 easily a month. And I think that could even be easily $10,000 a month. So the value that I add isn't just the programming, but it's the holistic approach to apps. And that's what Super Easy Apps is all about. That's the new company. And we're going to make app courses that are going to teach you how to get started with programming faster than anyone else. And it's going to be awesome. So if you're excited for that, look out for the iPhone Mastermind. Again, it's a small group. I'm only going to open up another 50 slots or so in the spring. And that gets more personal attention, more support than any other method. If you email me, I'm going to respond. But again, I get a lot of emails, so I try to respond in the order I get them, unless it's a priority. And I do have to prioritize certain emails over others, and stuff like that. So look for the iPhone Mastermind if you're interested in it. Otherwise, I have the forums, which I'm going to link and try to link to with every video in this series. So every section and every video should sort of link to that. So I'm really excited about that, and I'm happy to have you here. The forums link is just forum.iphonedev.tv, and I guess that's going to be transferred over to the new site. So I'll probably just make the link redirect automatically to, it should be something like forum or community dot super easy apps or supereasyapps.com. I don't have specifics on that right now. So for now, until I refilm this video, it's going to be forum.iphonedev.tv. All right, so that's developer is shortened to DEV, so iPhoneDev.tv, and that will give you the forum. You can go into any of these videos and find that link. All right, so thank you for joining this course, and I hope that you're excited to learn. I'm excited to teach you. I think there's a lot to learn, and it's not just the tech. It's understanding, is my idea worth pursuing? And I'm going to be including some of those videos in this first chapter, but I'm going to have probably another course that I do, depending on your feedback, that's going to be more in depth on really evaluating an idea before you write your first lines of code. So look for that. And if you have any questions, just send me an email. It's paulsolt@iphonedev.tv, or you can find me on Twitter. It's just Paul Solt, or you can find me on Instagram. It's just Paul Solt, or you can find me on YouTube at Paul Solt. So pretty easy to find. And I look forward to helping you make your very first iPhone app. Thanks for watching.